Hi, it's Isabel, A Curious Tale. Thanks for joining me again. This week I have what to me is a very exciting video. I made a video upcycling a tweed jacket, sort of taking the approach of a battle jacket like you see in a lot of like metal subcultures, and doing that but with entirely different bits of fabric and all different things on tweed. And yeah, thank you very much for the views I got on that video. It seemed people were quite interested in it. And yeah, also I apologise for the audio, and I'm definitely working on it, so let's see if the audio is going to be any better in this video. But yeah, I wanted to keep upcycling, and this time I have two projects. So the aesthetic of both the projects are quite different, but both very much my style. But the idea is that you can take the concept of these projects, which are all about appliques, and you can apply them to any kind of clothing with any style patches. Yeah, and the first one, I've got some beautiful textile scraps that my friend gave me in Nepal. They're from Rajasthan and from Gujarat in India. And yeah, I just wanted to use these on a garment that really showcased how beautiful the vintage textile scraps are, and also make something that I'm going to wear a lot. And then yeah, so that's also what I was talking about last time, about how you can upcycle clothing to just imbue them with your memories and all the experiences that are truly yours, and then just make garments that mean so much to you and hold all this magical power to you, and in my opinion look great as well. And then the second project is a pair of jeans. So you'll see some textile dyeing. I'm also dyeing something else, which is a bit of a saga from a video way back, a set that is very much in progress. But yeah, I dyed the jeans, and then I salvaged some patches from actually my brother's old pair of jeans. So I just put a few patches on the jeans that I dyed as well. So on the one hand, you've got a sort of overcoat dress full of vintage Gujarati and Rajasthani textile scraps, and then on the other hand you have some jeans with some great band patches sewn on them. But you know, you could do that the opposite way around. You can sew band patches on a dress, on a coat. You could put textile scraps on jeans, and you could mix them both together. I think that would look really cool. The only reason I didn't do that with this project was just what I thought fit like the garments themselves. So I'm going to show some clips of my process, and do a voiceover where I explain what I'm doing, and then yeah, hopefully you'll get inspired yourself to collect different scraps of textiles, different patches, and upcycle your clothes. And if you do, please let me know what you do and how it turns out. And yeah, for me it's just using vintage clothing, which is often so much better made, and then just personalizing pieces to make them something that you feel really magical wearing, and you know, it sort of blurs the line between self-expression, your own creativity, and even, you know, your own spiritual path, if that's something you want to also add in, either through colour, through symbols, or you know, anything of the sort. So yeah, please have a watch of my clips and let me know what you think. Here's the suit that I took in a previous video, and or the skirt part of it, and I really like it, but it's just really not my colour. So I've got here some Dylon machine dye, which I've used a few times before and I like how it works. So I'm going to use that, and also throw in a pair of these vintage diesel jeans that, again, they're lovely jeans, I just don't really wear blue jeans, and they're in the washing machine. It's very easy, although you do have to, give quite a lot of time because you've got to run 3 full cycles. So, it does take a while. But I think it's worth it. It's pretty easy. And yeah, I added quite a heavy load because I didn't want it to be pitch black. And I really love the charcoal color that this turned out, so you can still see the stripes on it. But first, we're going to customize this. It's a vintage Eddie Bauer corduroy dress. I also wear them as overcoats, and I wear so many of these. So here I'm just laying out my fabric scraps. They're all from Gujarat and Rajasthan, and I just love the colors. And just like I did with my tweed jacket, I've just amassed a load of things that I think might go, that I can use. But I just wanted to take a little break to share this really stunning Central Asian jacket I have recently acquired, and it's also sort of inspiring me for this customization. I've just laid out my braids, my fabric scraps, and I'm just playing around to see what I think looks good and would also be wearable. And I really wanted to highlight the fabric itself. So here, that's the back. I tacked them into place when I knew pretty much where I wanted them, because it's so much easier to sew if things are tacked. You can see I use really wide stitches in a contrasting thread, so it's really easy to see, really easy to take out, and yeah, I think it's it's much easier to sew things if they've already been tacked. So that was when I did all the fabric scraps, and then we were all going out to dinner, so I had to rush. I just added this little bit of braid because I didn't have time for the other braids, but I think it turned out better. I actually prefer just that textured bit instead of the shinier braid I was previously thinking about. And this is the next day, my finished dress, which I had worn the night before to go to dinner in. It was so comfy. I really loved it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think the fabric pieces look great. And, the raw edge is my personal taste, but you could have also done it with a clean edge. And then these are the jeans that I'd dyed black, and as is usually the case for me, they're just too long, so I have to first cut them before I can customize them. And again, you could cut them and hem them, which would give you a cleaner look, but I like the look of a raw edge on denim, and it also goes more with the style of these jeans, because again, I'm going to have raw edges on the patches I'll use, so I think it's going to look good if I have raw edges on the bottom as well. So I literally just tried them on, put a pin with the length I wanted, and then I'm, as you can see, just using my hand to measure, just eyeing it, and not doing anything scientific whatsoever. For me with sewing, it's not always about the most efficient way or professional way. Sometimes it's just about the most relaxed way in the moment. That's how I have an enjoyable time sewing, just letting things happen without pressure. That's personally how I like to do it. So I'm just cutting it, using that as my guide, and then also with the raw edge, I do end up going and just stitching over the seams on both sides of the jeans so that they won't unravel over time. So even though I don't hem the bottom of the trousers, I do just go over those seams so they won't start to come undone. And I just checked there by folding it in half that I had cut a straight line, which is great. And I'm keeping this bit of fabric for some printing that I'm going to do, because denim is really good to print on, in my opinion. Then now I'm just folding the jeans in half and trying to sort of smooth the fabric out so that I can cut the second leg to be the same length as the first, but again, you can see I'm just going roughly. I'm not worrying too much. I just laid the extra bit on top, trying to line it up, and then just using it as a guide, just cutting. So Very simple, and yeah, nothing technical about it whatsoever. Yeah, if you wanted to do a hem on the bottom, you obviously need to cut it with the seam allowance longer than how you'd like it when you wear it. But for these, I'm just cutting them to the exact length that I want to wear them, because I don't need to hem them. So there we go. And I just checked, yeah, they're the same size, so I did a fine job. And then jeans the right length. But before I sewed any patches on them, I took a little break to see these sheep and lambs. I don't know if you know, but I think it's very important, having little breaks going into nature when you're doing a creative project, if it's possible. I think is very, I don't know if it's necessary, but it certainly makes everything more magical. I think going to see animals and trees, if that's possible, it just makes every day more magical. And yeah, I love a little nature break during a craft project. And yeah, it was a very windy day, but you can see a bit of the sea there. So these are my brother's old jeans, and they have some great band patches on. So what I'm going to do here is just unpick some of the ones I want and transfer them onto my jeans. But with the rest of the jeans, I will again keep the fabric, I'll keep the patches for future projects. Again, we've got some banana bread. Another crafting tip is cake is always good. Got some great bands there that I took off, and then I decided I wanted another patch as well. So I just pinned these on where I wanted them, but this time I'm not going to tack them. I'm just going to straight sew them on, because they're smaller patches and it's not fiddly at all, so I didn't feel the need to tack them on. I did try them on though before I sewed them, and you can't really tell, but the thread I used is a sort of purpley maroon, which I just thought would be a bit interesting, a bit unexpected. And I just used the same very rough stitching technique that we used on my brother's jeans. I thought that looked really cool, and here's me wearing them, just trying them on. I think, yeah, they turned out really nicely, or how I wanted them to. Just a few patches, quite reserved for me, but I think they look really nice and they feel really comfy. So naturally I had to try them out, so I popped down to the sea and wearing the jeans, took them on their first adventure. As you can probably hear, it was a very windy day. It's often very windy, so that's no surprise, but the sea was looking particularly tropical that day, although it was not as warm as it may look. But yeah, those are the trousers. They performed excellently. I was very happy with my creation, and very happy to hop across the rock pools here. Also, just before I go, I thought I'd show you my two handmade necklaces. This I made so long ago from little leather scrap I got in Nepal, and then these skulls carved out of bone, and then I macrameed the strap, and there's a crystal inside, and then this is a carved stone with the goddess Kali sticking out her tongue, that I got in Swayambhu in Kathmandu. These silver skull Sitipati beads my husband got me. I think he got them in Boda in Kathmandu, and this beautiful pendant as well, and then this that I got when I got a lot of different vintage jewellery in Bhaktapur, I believe, and then I just put these on a string. So just thought it would be fun to show these as well, because yeah, I really love making clothing, I love making jewellery, and just having an outfit that's full of pieces that you've made or are meaningful. Like this was my dad's, probably about 50 years ago. You know, it just makes things all the more special and all the more meaningful. So yeah, here's my jewellery of the day. So they were my 2 garments from this week, and the next thing I'm going to do, I've been with my mother doing some block printing on textiles. That's something that she is really the expert in and I very much enjoy. So I think that will be my next upcycling video, and then we will finally finish this suit set that I got secondhand a while ago, because that's my vision for that. And just continuing the idea of appliques, patches and upcycling. And yeah, let me know what you think of how these garments turned out. I've worn both of them. I can insert some pictures of those outfits, the first outfits that I made, and I'm sure, I know that they're going to be you know, regular pieces on rotation in my wardrobe for sure. I really love them. So yeah, please let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoy your crafting endeavours as well. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!